Hello. Today I wanted to talk about like embracing femininity, but I guess my version of femininity. And I've had it's been a journey for me. Going through this before. I remember when I was in my 15, 16, well, when I was really young, which I remember a little bit, but also from what my mom tells me, I was very like girly, like I liked to wear dresses and like just acted more girly. And then after, like when I was like in high school, I remember like I liked to wear, maybe, I don't know, cared about my appearances, but not like super girly. And then college, I was just like more like, I guess, tomboy, but not like all the way, I don't know. But I feel like most of my life, like my later adult life, I've always kind of been more on the masculine side, and I've always felt weird that I wasn't more girly, more feminine, more like just even like the sound of my voice, I always thought it was like too deep, like I sound like a man. I always thought that, I always felt like self-conscious about that. And so I just kind of struggled with it. Also being like feminine, like wearing like more girly. So to me, femininity is like a spectrum. Like there's some women who are super girly, wear makeup like all the way, and then like their masculine side isn't that much. They're like way on one side of the spectrum. And then if you're on the other side of the spectrum, you're more on like the masculine side, but still, you're still feminine, but in a different way. So for me, I always felt like, because I felt like I was heterosexual, like I still feel that way, but I would always look at a lot of other girls, women around me, and like they acted more girly, and I always felt like I was more just manly, and I felt, I don't know, like I felt weird. But now in my life now, I kind of felt that when I was younger, I had more of like, I was just against being girly. I didn't like I could not wear the color pink. I couldn't. I remember the first time I wore anything pink in my adult life. I was like maybe 18, no, maybe like 22 or something like that, and it felt weird wearing a pink colored shirt, and I only got it because that was the only color available. And then I was like, you know what, let me give it a try, and I wore it, and I just felt weird. And then after, I was like, oh, I got used to it, and I did feel like the whole thing with like color therapy, or like the colors that you wear kind of do affect you, even like the clothes that you wear too. I feel like, because I wore dresses before, and it kind of forces you to just sit differently, and like, but when I was younger and they made me wear dresses, I would still like open my legs all wide and like, and so it felt weird to me, and I was just against being girly and like, no, I don't want anything to do with it. And that was because of my own personal trauma growing up with just being girly, being a woman, getting attention from men, and it almost always meant like, sexual attention, and I just didn't want anything to do with that because of my experience with that not being good. And so I just didn't want to be associated with anything girly. And so now in my later years, I feel like that was kind of like a filter, like a protective thing that I had for myself. And so now I feel like I was just, I wasn't allowing myself to do the things that I would naturally maybe want to do if it wasn't for those bad experiences. And so I never allowed myself to enjoy them, and without the negative connotation that I put on them. And so now I feel like I'm more discovering and allowing myself to kind of delve more into that part. But at the same time, I still like wearing just what you would call like tomboy-ish clothes. I still like that. I still like doing things that maybe would seem more masculine. But I also like to do things that would be more traditionally seen as feminine. And so I've kind of been learning to kind of just more accept my balance, and that it may not be the balance that is most popular or thrown at your face, that okay, this is what is girly, this is what is attractive in women, this is what you should look, sound like, be like. And I don't fit that definition exactly, I don't think. And because I like to do, I've learned how to do stuff like fix a few things in cars, like do the basic oil change, change spark plugs, and be under the car, learning, or when my dad teaches me how to do stuff, like I'm there and it's interesting. And I'm not afraid to get in there dirty and do it. But there will be other women that just don't want to touch it. I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't want, and that's fine. That's just their version of being a woman. But for me, I'm okay doing those things, but I also want to allow myself to explore the other things that I have always been afraid of, because I just wanted to stay away from it because of what I felt being feminine would bring, which is the attention of the male gaze, and I just wasn't comfortable with that. And always just kind of having just not really smiling at strangers, just kind of being more reserved. And now I feel like I talk to strangers more, I smile more. If I get approached by a man, just like asking something, or I'll get compliments and be like, oh, you have really pretty eyes, or you're pretty, or kind of just, you can kind of feel that attention, and that there's more to it. Like if I go to a restaurant to pick up food, and then they'll start asking me, oh, where are you from? Oh, you have pretty eyes. Oh, you're from here? Or like they start to like ask more personal questions, and I can kind of feel that they kind of, maybe think that I'm pretty or whatever. And which before I was like, nope, get away from me, no, 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 no. I just didn't respond well to compliments or that attention. And now I'm just more like, yeah, like, thank you, I receive it. But I don't go further like, oh, and I just like already trying to marry the guy. No, I'm just accepting of it, and I'm appreciative of it. But it just stays there. I guess it could go further, but I leave it there. And it's just, it doesn't always have to go further. It's just them appreciating me, and I am, flattered by their comment or whatever, and then that's it. And it's a nice interaction between two human beings, one a woman, another a man. That's it. And you just each go about your way. It doesn't have to go further than that. And so, like, now I find myself, even like before, I would never wear my hair down in public, at work, or anywhere. It was always my hair up, like how I have it now. It was always like this. And then now, this past year was the first time that I wore my hair down at my job, like any workplace. And I was just like dreading it, because I had been wearing my hair up like for 5 months straight, and then all of a sudden I'm putting my hair down. And so everybody was like, oh, it looks nice. And like I was like kind of afraid of like all the attention beforehand. But then when I was in there, I was like, oh, okay. And then you just move past it, and that's it. Okay. So yeah, now I wear my hair down more, and I just feel like I am growing more as a person and as a woman. What does it mean to be a woman? And I just was kind of stunted in my growth in that because of my negative connotation to being a woman, and my negative experiences. And so now it's just kind of, for me, just allowing myself to not be so scared, and seeing that it can help me, and not to just push everything away that's feminine, but to kind of try it out and see if I like it. If I don't like it, okay. And to not feel bad that if I'm not the typical girly woman, that I'm not a woman, that I'm not feminine. It's just my version is, kind of a mix and a balance. And some days it may be more on one side, and other days more on the other side. And it's something that is fluid and moving and flexible. Maybe some days, let's say you're out in the middle of nowhere, you're by yourself, you feel like you're in danger, you're probably gonna, I've been in situations like this, and it's natural for me for the more masculine part of me to come out and be more on the protective. And I understand that. And it's something that it's helping me in my survival instincts, and I am grateful for that. But then when it's in an environment where there's no danger, where it's more like relaxed, then to allow more of the feminine side to come out, which tends to be more vulnerable, more emotional, more, so that's why I can understand why it wouldn't make sense for that part of me to come out when it's danger all around me, perceived danger. So growing up, that's what I was perceiving, and that's what it was. It wasn't a healthy, open environment where I felt safe. I did not feel safe growing up to allow that part of me to come out, and so that's why I had that wall up, and that's just more of a masculine side of me come out and kind of be my only side people saw. And then only I, in my room and behind closed doors, I was able to see and express more of the feminine, goofy and like kind of, just more relaxed side of me. And now I just want to allow that to come out more when I feel like it's right, and not kind of be afraid of it, I guess. And yeah, I wanted to make this video shorter because the other ones have been like 30 minutes, but yeah, so kind of make this shorter. I guess it could be long too, but I don't know. So that's my experience so far, and yeah, the main thing is just not feeling bad for the version of being a woman. Like my version of being a woman is not feeling less than other women because I am maybe someone that is outside of those. Maybe I'm like an outlier compared to what is more popular, I guess. And like they say, comparison is the death or the stealer of happiness or something, I don't know. But yeah, comparison. And before, I remember that I would be more like, I saw other women that just embodied like that full feminine girly, like just like a model, and I felt like I kind of felt a little bit of jealousy and like kind of hated them a little bit when I was growing up. And now I understand that it's because I myself I didn't feel safe to be that, and I kind of wanted a little bit of that. And so the fact that I didn't allow myself to be that made me kind of dislike it on others. But I did see those women and be like, wow, they look so beautiful. But kind of being next to somebody like that made me feel kind of slouch and just kind of feel less than and just ugly. It made me feel ugly compared to them. And then now I see other women like this, and then I'm more appreciative and just admiring how beautiful they do look, and that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm less than, and that if it does make me feel like a little bit of like jealousy or like make it more as an inspiration to maybe try those things out. But I know that I'm not somebody who's gonna be the full feminine girly on the other side of the spectrum. Like, that's just not me. That's just not who I am. Because I would think about that as if would I want to be like that all the time? And the answer is no, I don't think I would want to. It's just not natural for me. But I would like to try it every once in a while, maybe special occasions, or, not be completely against it and just be open to it, but that also not hate that other part of me that's just more like this, like just wearing a sweater and a t-shirt, and that's fine to be. So yeah, I just wanted to share this, and I don't know, I've just been kind of going on within like the past weeks or so, just trying to just share these things that I've always thought about in my mind, always internal, but never really sharing. And I don't know, just felt like sharing, not being afraid to share, and just let it be. And yeah. So thank you for watching, and I hope, I don't know, you can learn from my past experiences, or just nice to listen to a little story. Yeah. Anyways, bye.